Hey guys, it's Danny, and today I'm back with the second part of my interview with Alexandra Jamieson. Now, if you missed the first part of that interview, you can check it out right over here, and make sure that you guys watch all the way to the end, because at the end of this interview, I am going to share with you how 3 of you can have the opportunity to win a signed copy of Women, Food, and Desire, autographed by Alexandra herself. You work with women mostly. Are there any what I would call like the big kahuna core desire that you kind of see front and foremost that take place for women, that you're like, oh, this is definitely a repetitive theme that I see in women?
So a lot of the women who are reaching out to me that have read the book say, I have tried so many ways to lose weight, and I have hated my body since I was a child. And my mother hated her body. So I've never had a role model of somebody who just felt well in themselves. And a lot of women also who had some kind of drug abuse, alcoholic abuse, or sexual abuse in the home from a young age, that there was some kind of body or physical or emotional trauma in their early life that also disconnected them from their self-confidence in their being. And then women also who are experiencing sexual dissatisfaction on top of or entwined with their weight or their hormonal or their energy issues. Like there's also like a desire for real pleasure in their life.
Yeah.
And it's very vulnerable. It's very hard to talk about. And I have a whole chapter on sex in the book, and it was hard for me to talk about still. But
You did an amazing job.
Thank you. But I just want to honor the fact that it's a taboo subject still. I've actually had women say, I got to that chapter and I had to put the book down for a week because it was so upsetting, and then I couldn't stop thinking about it. And I came back to it and I realized, oh my God, that's me. I need to look at my sexual history or my desires. It's part of the same thing. It's like,
It's amazing. That's what's so good about it. It's not, it's not what you're reading on the cover of Shape magazine, right? Like, there's so much more than the calories.
I got to be honest, replace the M for the P in Shape magazine, and that's kind of how I feel about that magazine. It's like,
interesting.
Women's magazines, they have this tendency to present an idealistic image that's totally unrealistic, and they don't bring together the nutritional science, the functional nutrition, which is important. Like a lot of women do need to take certain foods out of their diet, or at least experiment with it, to reach a place of bacterial and nutritional health. But we have to weave in the emotion and the physical, that we are whole human beings, that we want a full life, not just a size 2 body. Come on.
Exactly. Yes. So if that is, we are such multifaceted human beings, and there's so much to us, and it becomes just, what's the word? Just minimized to this one little, what size am I, this false belief. If I look a certain way, I'm going to feel differently. It's like, no. We have to feel. Feel first.
Yeah.
Okay. And the other thing I wanted to ask, kind of like the last question I have, is if somebody was really interested in starting to incorporate this approach into their life, other than, of course, reading the book and getting tons of information in there, what would you recommend as a really good kind of itsy bitsy baby step to start investigating your cravings and understanding this, bringing this approach to yourself?
Okay, so I don't normally have people, keep like a food diary. I don't say weigh your food, measure your food, count the calories, blah, blah, blah. I don't think that that's useful. What I do think is useful is writing down what you eat and how you were feeling. What emotions and what physical sensations are you experiencing when you make that food choice? Like before, okay, I just chose this pasta dish for lunch, and I'm feeling like anxious and nervous or exhausted or just disinterested or bored. Like, what's the food choice that you make, and how are you feeling emotionally, and where does that feel physically? Where do you notice the sensations in your body of appetite? Do you feel like, God, I feel tension in my neck, or I feel like my stomach is empty, or I feel like I have brain fog? Like, what do you feel physically and what do you feel emotionally when you're making your food choices?
Yes.
And then how do you feel after you eat? After you've eaten your meal, how do you feel now? What's your emotional state now? And how do you feel physically? Like, what sensations do you notice now? Just to start to put together, what does my appetite and cravings mean? What caused this? And how does it then make me feel? Like,
Right.
what is this craving helping me do?
Right.
So that you can begin to put the pieces together. It's like a big puzzle.
Yes. Creating that sense of awareness without changing anything, without needing it to be different, without having a judgment on it. Just a pure curiosity of like, what exactly is taking place for me as I stand in this moment, meeting yourself exactly where you are.
Right, totally. So do that for, I mean, man, if you just did that for really 3 or 4 days, you would start to get huge insights. And again, your recommendation, Denise, is perfect. No judgment. It's just a non-judgmental seeing of how you behave and feel with food.
Yes, that's awesome.
And then you will see whether it's bacterial, nutritional, emotional, or physical, or a combination of several of those.
Oh, sure. Once you start to see with okay, that's interesting. Now, how do you think somebody would know that for themselves? So if you notice that you're liking, let's say, craving a lot of chocolate, how would you know if that chocolate was a bacterial craving or an emotional craving? Just by tying it into how you were emotionally feeling at the time?
Well, there's different symptoms that are associated with a bacterial or yeast imbalance. So other symptoms, and I go over this in more detail in the book, if you have candida yeast overgrowth, then you're probably also experiencing headaches, brain fog, digestive trouble, skin outbreaks.
Oh, okay.
So those things will be, you're like, oh yeah, those are my symptoms. And if I don't eat the sugar regularly, like those symptoms get worse. If I keep eating it, they kind of stay at a low level.
Right.
So
yes,
the sugar is like a medicine and a poison at the same time.
Fascinating. Right.
Yeah.
I love, Mark David from the Institute. He always says that the poison is in the dose. And I love that take, because it's true. Like something could be amazing, like a glass of wine could be amazing. A bottle could be a problem.
Right.
Exactly. Same substance, different dose. So anyway, I think, is there anything else that you would like to add here before I wrap it up here? Because I think that this is such great information. I'm so excited to share it.
Thank you. I'm just so thrilled that women are picking up this book and finding the insights and the inspiration and the intrinsic motivation from the stories to really heal themselves. And I've named the enemy. Every good movement has an enemy. Our enemy is the diet industrial complex.
Yes. Amen.
That the gurus who tell you there is only one way to do it and this is how it works.
Yes.
And that you need to deny yourself pleasure until you reach a certain goal. Screw that. It doesn't work. It's an old way of thinking, and it's keeping us in a battle with ourselves and other women, and it's keeping us all living small lives.
Yes.
And we deserve so much. We deserve everything, and we deserve to do it together with a lot of fun.
I love it. That was so well said, Alex. Thank you so much. Guys, I just want to show you again, this is the book, Women, Food, and Desire. You can find this book on Alex's website, womenfoodanddesire.com. And actually, if you go to the website to purchase the book, you get to download a bunch of other little goodies like a free cookbook. Yes. And there's a free workout class that you do with Erin Stutland.
Erin Stutland's Shrink Sessions, which is the most fun. It's like movement with mantras. And I'm doing the workout with her, and I am so not graceful, but it's really fun.
That's awesome.
So you get this workout, you get all these great interviews and resources. So womenfoodanddesire.com.
Okay.
Perfect. And then I'm going to link below to the social media because I love myself some social media. So you're on Facebook and on Instagram, and I'm going to leave the links down below for you guys if you guys want to check Alex out there. And if you have any questions, you know, pop on over to her blog at womanfoodanddesire.com and let her know. I'm sure she'd be happy to answer them.
Thank
right?
you.
Okay. Thanks so much. And I will talk to you soon, maybe. I don't know.
I hope so. Thank you.
Okay, as always, I am very curious to know what you're thinking, feeling, any thoughts you have. But today, in order to win one of these signed autographed copies of Women, Food, and Desire, and 3 of you will have the chance to win, what you need to do is head on over to Clean and Delicious. I have the link right here, and I'm also going to put it down in the description box below, and leave your comments on the blog. So I want to know what you're thinking, feeling, what you relate to, or what did you learn from this little interview series. I love to hear your experience, so please come and share with me, and let's chat. And then on Monday, I will announce the 3 winners who get a free autographed signed copy of Women, Food, and Desire by Alexandra Jamieson. Thanks so much for watching, guys. I will be back on Friday with some more clean and deliciousness. Cheers.